Today we will be discussing Nokia stock and why it could be going higher this week. Let's get into the video. Hi everyone, my name is Zach and welcome back to Finance Bro. Before we get into the video, I'd like to ask you guys to please leave a comment of how many shares of Nokia you are holding and also consider leaving a like and subscribe as it really helps with the YouTube algorithm. And if you guys have not signed up for WeBull yet and you want 2 free stocks that could be worth up to $2,300, go ahead and click the first link in the description and deposit $5 on the platform and you'll get those 2 free stocks. With all that out of the way, let's get straight into our stock for today, Nokia. Alright, so first off, we have to talk about how much heat Nokia is coming in with on StockTwits. So StockTwits is actually a website. I talk about this on every video, but it's a website that you can see what stocks are trending and which stocks are not. Last night when I was checking the market and the pre-market, you could actually see that Nokia was one of the top trending stocks, and also on StockTwits they were about, I believe, 3. So they were the top trending stock. Today they're actually trending at number 6 at the moment. They were up 10% on the day, obviously, and we're going to be going over why. But then also they did add the 8th most watchers over the last 24 hours. So obviously Nokia usually doesn't get this type of hype, but they got it today because of what we're about to talk about. Alright, and here we are on the Motley Fool, Fool.com, and it is why Nokia's stock surged higher today. Investors see signs of life for this beaten down provider of communication equipment. So the key points here are that they had a strong start to the year and management expects to raise its full year guidance. So that basically means they expect their year to be better than they thought it was. And whenever this happens with the stock, you do usually see a bump in price, but we saw a bump of about 9.5%, which you don't really see in Nokia that often because it takes a lot of money to actually get them to bump, because they do have a $33 billion market cap, which is pretty high. For comparison, that's pretty comparable to AMC. AMC also not doing too good today, but that's besides the point. The second key point is that Nokia's CEO sees a favorable demand scenario from the 5G upgrade cycle, but intense competition makes it unclear how long these good times will last. So basically they're like, hey, we're being cautious about this, but we're doing pretty good. But yeah, so we already went over all of this. The gains come on top of a stellar performance year to date, as shares have outpaced the broader market averages. So that's very, very good. Obviously, way outperforming the S&P after the kind of meme stock run and the resurgence of meme stocks in the past month or two. Obviously, Nokia has been doing pretty good. So management's previous guidance for full year net sales were between 20.6 billion euros and 21.8, or approximately 25 billion at the midpoint. In 2020, Nokia reported net sales of about 20.9 billion euros. The company said that it would provide more details on its updated guidance July 29th. But basically they said, hey, we are thinking that our guidance is actually going to have to be increased a little bit because we're actually doing extremely well. So reported sales were up 3% year over year, but after adjusting for currency changes, sales growth looked even better, coming at 9% year over year. Basically, extremely good for Nokia. The upgrade cycle to 5G is giving this communication services provider new life, but this is an intensely competitive market with Samsung, Huawei, and Ericsson among a host of smaller competitors vying for contracts. But Nokia has been performing this well this year, year to date. So yeah, basically the rest of it's just 5G cycle. They're doing well, but they're being cautiously optimistic as there's a lot of competition in the market, but they are doing better than normal. So yeah, that's why it's going a lot higher today, because all of this just came out. And then also remember, this catalyst is coming up, that on the July 29th they will be giving its updated guidance. So make sure if you're a Nokia stock investor, you're keeping an eye out for July 29th. All right, here we can come to Yahoo Finance. This is the best place to actually research your stocks. Obviously today we started out a bit in the green, if you can see here, for all stocks, but then by the end of the day we kind of took a little bit of a hit because of the CPI data that came out that shows inflation is pretty bad at the moment, but to be expected. So as you can see here, market cap 33 billion, earnings per share negative 0.45 cents. Midterm and long term look good, and then short term looks a little bit bad according to this bearish pattern that they detected, but that is because they, BlackBerry had a huge bump earlier today. But yeah, let's move on here to earnings. You can see that they've beat 3 of the last 4 quarters, and financially, they've been doing between 23 and 24 billion on revenue. And quarterly, they obviously had a really good Q4, and they think that they will have to update their guidance, so they should be earning a lot of revenue in 2021 as well. The recommendation rating is going to be a 2.6 compared to, it's basically between a buy and a hold. And then analyst price targets out of 8, the low is 5, and the high is actually 7.8. So they are close to their average, but there is a lot of upside if we get to that 7.8 range. So yeah, let's go here to financials for a second. Obviously, you can see quarterly the income is looking great. Obviously, they had a really good Q4, but they think they're going to have a great rest of the year, so this should be increasing as well. If you take a look at their balance sheet, you can check their latest balance sheet. You can see that they have $18 billion in current assets compared to $11 billion in current liabilities. That's exactly what you want to see. That is a very strong balance sheet. And then obviously only about $6 billion in total debt. So the current assets more than cover their current liabilities and total debt combined. So they have a strong balance sheet, they have a lot of income coming in, and they think that the guidance will get even better, so they will be doing a lot more in net sales. So overall, very good for Nokia looking forward. And then we have that catalyst on July 29th. Alright, and now we can come here to the technical analysis portion of this video. Obviously, if you take a look out, if you go to a large time frame, Nokia basically just bounces back and forth between $3 and $6, and they've done that for years on years on years. Basically just bounces up in between $4 to $6. Doesn't really change much because they have a lot of shares out there, and it takes a lot of money to actually move the stock's price. Obviously today we're doing a bit better. A lot of volume today compared to not as much volume the past couple of days on this really good news. And we started out the day at about 575 and ended the day in the green. Also after hours we are in the green. So it's looking like we have support at about the 584 level, and a resistance. Obviously we have a pretty big resistance there at $6. If we can get above that resistance at $6 tomorrow, we could be going to the 650ish range, but there's not that much, sadly there's not that much upside from here. If we do break that resistance, it would really only get to about the 650 range in my opinion, which would be like 6 to 7% more gains. So there's not too much more gains, but we also do have a catalyst coming up on the 29th. So overall, the stock is looking good, but let's hope that they don't break this like 584 support tomorrow, and that they just keep trading up here and not start a bearish trend down. Obviously, on the MACD, the trend is about to start down, and we are still a bit overbought. So overall, going into tomorrow, I wouldn't be too bullish on it staying above that 585 level, but if it does, that'd be very good for the stock. But yeah, that is pretty much going to be it for the video. Thank you guys all so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy, please leave a comment of how many shares of Nokia you are holding, and then also consider leaving a like and subscribe, as it really helps with the YouTube algorithm. But my name is Zach, and I hope to see you in the next video.